Right now, tonight, you're going to curl up, knees toward your chest, arms pulled in, spine curved like a comma. You won't decide to do it. You'll just wake up like that. And here's the strange part. That position isn't a habit you picked up. It's one of the oldest defaults in the human body, older than blankets, older than beds, older than shelter itself. It's older than language, older than fire use. It might be older than us being human at all. So the question is, when did a body first learn that curling up was the safest way to disappear into sleep? Let's go back. Not to the first humans. Further than that. Start with any mammal you've ever seen sleep. A dog, a cat, a mouse in a nest. Almost all of them tuck in tight, nose to tail, limbs folded under. Biologists call this thermoregulatory curling, and it's ancient. Curling up shrinks your surface area. Less skin exposed to cold air means less heat lost. A curled body loses warmth slower than a stretched out one. Think about that. Before humans had fire, before we had fur thick enough to matter, our ancestors were losing body heat every single night. And the cheapest solution wasn't a tool. It was a shape. Now fast forward to the womb. This is where it gets interesting. For 9 months, before you ever took a breath, your body existed in one position. Knees drawn up, arms crossed near the chest, spine curved. Not because it was comfortable, because there was no room for anything else. The uterus is small. A growing skeleton has to fold to fit. So by the time you're born, your muscles and joints already have a memory of that shape burned into them. Researchers who study infant movement have long noted that newborns default back to a curled, flexed posture in the first weeks of life. The same posture they held before birth. It's not learned. It's just where the body rests when nothing is forcing it to do otherwise. Here's what makes this so important. 2 completely different pressures, one from deep evolutionary history, one from 9 months in the womb, are pointing at the exact same shape. That's not a coincidence you'd expect. That's a body with 2 separate reasons to curl. Now let's move into actual human history, because this is where the fetal position stops being just biology and starts being behavior. Go back tens of thousands of years, to some of the earliest deliberate human burials archaeologists have found. In multiple ancient burial sites across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, skeletons have turned up positioned on their sides, knees drawn to the chest, arms folded in. Archaeologists call this a flexed burial. Now, some of that positioning was practical. A curled body takes up less space in a dug grave. Less digging, less effort. Practical people, ancient people. But here's the thing. Practicality doesn't explain everything researchers have found. In several of these ancient graves, bodies were arranged with care. Ochre pigment placed near the head. Shells or small tools positioned by the hands. This wasn't a body dumped into a hole. This was a body prepared. And the shape chosen, again and again, across cultures who never met each other, separated by oceans and thousands of years, was the same one you were born in. We can't know exactly what any specific ancient burial meant to the people who dug it. But the pattern is real, and it shows up over and over on multiple continents for thousands of years. Let's jump forward again into recorded history, where we finally get people writing down what they noticed about sleep itself. Ancient physicians in Greece and Rome wrote about the body's positions during rest, treating posture as something connected to health and temperament, not just comfort. Sleep wasn't just downtime to them. It was a state worth studying, worth writing medical opinions about. And through centuries of art, in carved tomb figures, in old manuscript illustrations of the dying and the sleeping, you see that same curled shape again. Not universal, not the only pose depicted, but common enough, recurring enough, that it clearly meant something to the people drawing it. Here's the pivot, the part that turns this from a cute observation into something bigger. In the 20th century, sleep scientists finally got the tools to actually study posture with data instead of guesswork. And what they found lines up with everything before it. Large surveys of adult sleepers, tracking thousands of people across different studies, consistently found that the fetal position is the single most common sleeping posture reported by adults. more common than sleeping on your back or your stomach. One widely cited posture study from British researchers in the 2000s surveyed over 1,000 adults and found that well over half of them favored some version of the curled, side-sleeping fetal position. Not a small preference. A dominant one. Think about that. After everything, after fire, after cities, after mattresses and central heating and blankets rated for freezing temperatures, your body still defaults to the exact shape it used before any of that existed. We solved the cold. We solved the danger. And we still curl up like the world outside the blanket might still get us. There's a psychological layer too. Sleep researchers and psychologists have long associated the fetal position with comfort-seeking behavior, especially under stress. People curl up tighter when they're anxious, when they're sick, when they're grieving. It's one of the most universally recognized signals of a person needing to feel safe. So really, we're looking at a shape doing 3 jobs at once. It conserves heat, the way it did for every curled-up mammal before us. It echoes the one position your body knew before you existed, from your time in the womb. And it signals safety to your own nervous system, tucking your vital organs and softest parts away from the open air, the way prey animals protect themselves when they're vulnerable. That's not one explanation. That's 3 ancient systems agreeing on the same answer, independently, across millions of years and thousands of generations. So here's the full picture. Mammals curled up to save heat, long before humans existed. You curled up in the womb because there was nowhere else to go. Ancient humans, tens of thousands of years ago, were buried curled up, on purpose, across continents that had no contact with each other. And now, tonight, in a heated room, in a soft bed, with none of the danger our ancestors faced, your body is going to fold itself into that exact same shape without asking your permission. You didn't learn the fetal position from your parents, or a book, or a habit. Your body remembered it. From before birth, from before written history, from before we were even fully human. Maybe that's the real story here. That underneath all our tools, our cities, our climate control, there's a body still quietly practicing the oldest trick it knows. Get small, protect the center, and wait for morning. If you want more of these deep dives into the strange habits we never think twice about, stick around. There's plenty more where this came from.